For joining me. I have returned, ladies and gentlemen, back at the scene of the crime. Let me just do a little adjustment here quite quick. Another Godfather sort of remix thing to here, and we're going full cam here. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me at Talk Live. My goodness, everything's out of shape and out of whack here, but we've been away for a little while, and we've had to move things around a little bit. But I'm here in my Psycho Bunny, ready to get a little funny. As we do this, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me at Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. And tonight, we are discussing, what Black Twitter are all speaking about, and that is the Judge Mathis divorce. Yes, the 39-year marriage of Judge Mathis with his lovely wife, Tisa Ray Mathis. Just let me get the name correct here. It is, yes, indeed, Linda Jessie Mathis. Yes, indeed. I believe Jessie, yes. With Linda Mathis. We're just going to get the Linda Mathis. Let me just make sure I have it right here. Yes, indeed. I don't know if she's a TV personality. Well, she is. I guess she has her own reality show. That was through the help of Judge Mathis in the first place. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Where are we at here? Lisa Reese Mathis. Thank you very much. Lisa Reese Mathis, the 60-year-old, 39-year wife of Judge Mathis, has decided to file divorce due to irreconcilable grounds, ladies and gentlemen. And it has sent shockwaves through Black Twitter, shockwaves through Black Instagram, and it's totally shocked not only the United States and but the world, quite simply, who have known Judge Mathis. Judge Mathis had a very successful syndicated reality justice show over I'd say over at least 25 to 28 years. He's had this show ever since the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. He's been carrying on the show, and it's wildly successul. And let me just get it back to me here. Yes, indeed, we're here. Yes, wildly successful, and it has happened that as of last week, Linda Reese Mathis filed for divorce. She filed for divorce. She wanted out of the marriage, ladies and gentlemen, due to irreconcilable differences. But I think, judging from the title of the show, that there are further reasons that were not explained that were reasons that she had to get out of the marriage. And we've seen it in many different examples, more but above all else, and microcosmically, we've seen it in the Dr. Dre divorce, where his wife of about 20-odd years decided to divorce him, especially, and try to take half of his money. But the difference between those two divorces is, one, Dr. Dre knew he was successful and knew his wife came after much of his success, and he decided to protect himself through a prenup, which I think was very smart on his part. But here, Judge Mathis, well, let's get to the origin story here on Talk Live. Just a quick synopsis of what has happened, what has transpired in this marriage. Judge Mathis and Linda Reese met on the campus of, I think it's East Michigan University, way back in the early 80s, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that's how far back it goes, when they were both in their late teens, early 20s. From there, they started a relationship with Judge Mathis quite smitten on with Miss Linda Reese, and he tried to woo her and cajole her and try to seduce her, quite simply, and try to court her, to say it nicely. He tried to court her, and he was successful, and they've had a successful marriage ever since. 39 years of marriage. They've had about 4 kids, all now adults. And again, this came with Greg Mathis becoming a judge. This came with Greg Mathis, starting on a syndicated TV show about small claims court, and it becoming wildly successful to a point where he was. Well, we'll get into that a little later as to what his net worth was, but it ain't small change, to be fair. And but again, with that in mind, Linda Reese decided that, after 39 years of marriage, it was time for her to move on, time for her to seek pastures new. And we're going to get into that right now as to the reason why she is seeking pastures new. Now, she cited on divorce documents, on divorce pleadings, that it was irreconcilable differences. But there's something deeper than that. We're going to get into that and talk live. So let's get into it right now with me and my Cycle Money. I love this shirt. Let me just tell you about this. I love this shirt. As soon as I saw it on Cycle Money, on the Cycle Money website, I said it's got to be mine. And it was mine, quite simply. And but again, we are sponsored by Dun Talk, DUNTLK.com. But tomorrow night we'll be back with Dun Talk. But let's get into this right now. We're going to get into the browser right here. Bang. And we're going to get into my thing. Here we go. Going back into the camera. Now, again, that is Linda Mathis here. That is Judge Mathis. If you did not know, Linda Mathis married 39 years to Judge Greg Mathis again. Yes, she was privy to his high-value statehood as being a judge, but also having a syndicated show that was wildly successful in the United States and syndicated throughout the world, quite simply, including here in Toronto, which again brought him worldwide celebrity. But again, let's just read on with the TMZ article here as to what happened, what went down, because I want to be impartial on this at this time as to what happened with regards to this divorce. So we go to TMZ. TMZ does has no stake in the game, so we read from here, quite simply, and we read on. Judge Mathis is going to have a judge in his life now because his wife just banged the gavel on their marriage. TV judge wife Linda beelined it to the court Thursday and filed for divorce from Judge Mathis after 39 years of marriage. Ladies and gentlemen, 39 years of marriage used to be, no big thing back in the day. But in the days of modern marriages, where half of them end in divorce after no more than 7 years, we have this bombshell that landed on our doorstep earlier on this week, late last week, earlier on this week. According to the docs obtained by TMZ, Linda lists the date of separation as July 17th, and she's going with boilerplate. She was going with the boilerplate irreconcilable differences as a reason for the split, as grounds for the split. There are no minor children involved here, so no need to hash out custody and child support. Judge Mathis and Linda have had 4 kids during their marriage, but all are over 18, and Mathis is even the grandfather. So yes, this is a marriage that's extended to their children having grandchildren for Judge Mathis and his wife, and it was a beautiful thing. It was a really, really beautiful thing. It's one of the few marriages in Hollywood that really survived the test of time. Linda is asking for spousal support, of course, and she checked the box to block the court's ability to award Judge Mathis spousal support. Unclear if there's a prenup involved. I doubt it because, again, they were married in the early 80s out of love, and prenuptial agreements weren't exactly necessary then, since they were both earning pretty much the same money. They struggled together to build a marriage and a life with each other that was wildly successful, quite simply, and especially on Judge Mathis's part. Judge Mathis and Linda got hitched way back in June 1985. Let us put this clear, people. Half the world was not born when these guys got married. It is amazing to see that this marriage lasted this long, and I only hope to have a marriage lasting this long. I only hope, I don't know if I can have a marriage lasting this long. I'd be so lucky, judging from my age, but it is something to be commended. It's something to be nurtured. It's something to be cherished. However, again, feels over reels, right? So again, that's where we stand. A couple of years after Judge Mathis graduated college and 14 years before his reality court TV show aired on TV. So therefore, there was a 14-year gap where Judge Mathis established his career, became a judge, was working through the courts, and established his reality court TV show, which was, again, wildly successful. Next to Judge Judy, this was my second favorite judge show. Without question, without doubt, without fail. This guy is funny. He's erudite. He's, and he can code switch with the best of them. And he was very knowledgeable in his field, quite simply. And it was an entertaining reality court show, and a fantastic show nonetheless. And again, next to Judge Judy, this guy was probably the greatest judge show out there. Of course, there's Judge Wapner as well. Okay, so that is the status of things as we speak. So we're going to get into this. We're going to get into the reasons why. I'm going to leave that to last, actually. Let's go to this one first. Yeah, we're going to go to Jada Black first. Jada Black, we haven't seen him for a little while, but hey, he is doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. Subscribe to Jada Black, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing wonderful things in his YouTube streets, and yeah, we are here to check things out. Again, they're going to reread the TMZ article, but you know what? Yeah, we can go with it. So let's get back to it. Here we go. Yes, indeed. So we're going to widen the screen here. Thank you very much, and we're going to get into it. It's over. Judge Mathis leads wife after 39 years of marriage. What happened? So let's get into what happened. Thank you, Jada Black. Like, subscribe to Jada Black, doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. Let's go.
And apparently, popular TV Judge Greg Mathis, his wife is divorcing him after 39 years. 39 years. Think about that, people. They were together for 39 years. They have, I believe, 4 children together. They're all adults. And he would brag on his wife a lot on his show. She would be there right there in the audience. But of the last couple of years, I will say this about Judge Mathis. He has gone a bit Hollywood. He had a reality show that is featuring him and his family. He has a very interesting family. Greg Mathis Jr. actually got married to the guy in this photo right next to him. And this is a very interesting family makeup.
Yeah. One of his sons is part of the Alphabet Gang, if you did not know. Happy Pride. Let's continue.
Seemed like Greg Mathis has really tried to, I guess, make his family famous. Get them into the spotlight. And now you see the divorce happening. I'm telling you right now, whenever you have a situation where you're famous, you have success, you have money, it doesn't matter how long that woman has been with you, she's still going to believe that she can find somebody else. And when I was looking at the comments of the comment section of some of these platforms, there were a lot of women who were very confused, and they said they didn't understand why she would want to leave because there's nothing out there. And these women would know. These women would know that there's not much going on in the dating market. And the fact that after 39 years, she's filing for divorce. Now, this marriage could have been over a long time ago. But at that point, 39 years, you might as well just stay together. It's almost, you look at Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, they'll never get divorced according to them. But they tolerate each other and deal with each other because they have children and because they become, quote unquote, best friends for life, right? They're not trying to get a divorce, even though they could be living separately from each other. You know, Will is outdoing him, it seems. But as you know, 2024 is different. No matter how long a lot of these women have been married, they still feel like they got it. They still feel like they can go out there and get them another man. And I think that Linda feels that she could go out there and get another man. That's why she's.
Let that sink in, people. I did. Well, I'll just let you know that hopefully you can hear my voice. I didn't set up my microphone as of yet, but again, it'll be in for the next show. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can and get the audio as well. So my apologies for that. But let that sink in. I knew there was a bit missing here, but let that sink in. This lady of 39 years wanted out. She wanted out. And it was it's unknown if indeed it was because of friends in her ear saying that she could do bad all by herself. It was unknown. It's unknown that it was somebody else who was in the picture that she had eyes on that she thought she could do better than Judge Mathis. But it must be said that high-value men of this stature are one of one. Are literally one of one. And especially when you are a lady such as this, of course, since there is no prenup, she will win a certain amount of money, but she cannot take that money elsewhere and think that she'll do better, because the man that she'll probably get with won't be as rich as Judge Mathis. Put simply, it probably won't. Why? Because those sort of men want, well, youth, beauty, fertility for the most part. Not to say that they all do, but most of them do. And with that, her youth and fertility are gone. So where does she think she could do better than Judge Mathis? I don't know. And so I would say her smartest move, her greatest move, was to stick with Judge Mathis. And once you realize, because again, that is one of the reasons why things didn't end up well. They didn't end up staying together. But it's sort of, how shall I say? It's sort of superficial the way things ended. It's sort of well, how shall I say? It's sort of fear of missing out. The way things ended up here, because again, Judge Mathis he wooed her the old-fashioned way. He sang to her. He was there for her. He really tried to pursue her. And now that after 39 years, the 4 kids that they've had, she wants it over. She wants to end it, simply because she thinks that she can do bad all by herself. Maybe one of the reasons is she can do bad all by herself, and she can move forward in life. And yeah, it's a shame that things had to come to pass like this. Again, Lana BK saying that he can hear you loud and clear. No one knows what went on behind closed doors and how happy they were for those 39 years. Well, she was happy enough to stay. She was happy enough to have kids with this man. She was happy enough to, get with a man whose net worth was in the millions of dollars. And I'll let you know about that in due course, how much he was really worth. But believe me, he was a high-value man. Okay? There's no doubt about that. There's no end in that. This guy was one of one. And I very, very, very much doubt she wanted to give up that life. She was a willing, and I mean very willing, participant in the reality show that they set up that Judge Mathis set up for his family, so that his family could get paid. But clearly that wasn't enough, so she took the second option and wanted to take half. Go figure. Let's continue.
He's powerful because she could, again, if she wasn't looking for another man, she could stay with she could stay with Judge Mathis, and just, I guess, do what older couples do when they don't want to divorce each other, right? but she's probably thinking to herself that she's going to find somebody else and marry them. This is the mentality of older women. They really believe this.
Well, older women of a modern age, older women of an Instagram age. That's part of the reason why I titled this, did Instagram or FOMO break this couple up? And I would say, to a certain extent, they did. I really think that Judge Mathis' wife here, Linda, she believed that she could find a new man and get under a new relationship, a new marriage, knowing full well that that man may not earn as much as Judge Mathis. That man may not love her as much as Judge Mathis, and he may just be there for coin. He may just be there for a quick payday, because from the money that she is, well, going to be taking from Judge Mathis, because believe me, the family fortune was made by Judge Greg Mathis. That's it. I believe some of his family was involved with his studio projections. I mean, they could have jobs, they could have certain lives outside of the production company, outside of the reality show, outside of the judge show. But I know that one of the sons was involved in the crew of the reality court show, and all the family members are involved in the reality TV show. And so he tried to get everyone paid. He works hard to a great extent, and we'll get to this a little later as well. We'll cover this again. And what happens to him? Well, he's divorced. Because of his hardworking nature, he's divorced. And it's a shame. It's a shame that, all the work he put into creating this family and making this family work had to be done away with a stroke of a pen. But remember, 70-80% of divorces are caused by whom? Ladies. Let's continue. For irreconcilable differences.
So let's get into this article by TMZ. It says Judge Mathis.
So we're going to be moving ahead of that because we got
Judge Mathis is going to have
So let's go here.
And this is right after, again, Judge Mathis wanted to make his family famous. He wanted to make his family famous. He wanted them to have fame too. Only for him to now be in a public divorce. This could get very messy. 39 years married. He got married in 1985. 4 adult children. She's going to want a lot of walk-away money, Greg. You're going to have to take care of her lifestyle now, because she ain't about to go work. See, that's the thing, man. When these
that is indeed the thing. She is the pension. He is the pension plan. He is the pension plan in this relationship. She can do what the hell she wants. She can do what the hell she wants. She can leave at the stroke of a pen. Now, again, if there wasn't any no-fault divorce, guess what? This marriage would be. It would still be together, because the lifestyle to which she was accustomed would still be supplied. And if she left, then she would take what she had and move forward, because she is launching this divorce. It's not him. But on a whim, at the stroke of a pen, she has filed for divorce. And that's why a lot of people aren't getting married anymore, because quite simply, Judge Mathis has built a fortune to which the lady has taken half. She's taken half, and I don't know if she worked at all in her marriage to Judge Mathis, but I suspect no. Because you know why? Because every time Judge Mathis was shooting his show, usually in the front row was his wife. So she had no career for herself. She had no involvement in any sort of occupation at all outside of charitable pursuits to which Judge Mathis put her in place of. So basically, this marriage, this union was created by Judge Mathis. Let me see if I got any comments on the YouTube channel here. Let's see here. Sorry, on the okay, we're good. Yes. So yes, that's what we have to deal with here. We're dealing with a lady who, quite simply, she did buy in. She did buy in. She did, she did stick by the side of Mr. Mathis. But all of a sudden, one day she said to herself, "You know what? I want out. I want out. I want my own freedom. I want my own rights. I want my own this and this and that." And quite simply, it's a shame that we are where we are right now, because from all intents and purposes, it seemed like a great marriage. But as Lana's already said, no one knows what went on behind closed doors and how happy they were for those 39 years. Yeah, but if a good portion of those 39 years, 14 years, so 14, take 14 away from like the syndicated show. Let's take away 14. Let's take away another 5 years for the syndicated show to find its feet. But even so, no. Let's take 14 years, because let's take 14 years away, because let's add back those 14 years. Let's say 25 years. 25 years he was a judge, and an active one, and judgeships are usually six-figure salaries. So he was part of the top 15% of the populace being a judge. And add to that, he had a syndicated show which made him a whole lot of money, which aggrandized his fortune, and which made him a very popular figure in the public, to which she was a wife of that public figure. Believe me, she didn't have to work. She literally did not have to work, and neither did Judge Mathis want her to work, because again, I'm not going to say anything that may not be true here, but potentially he was a high value man. He was a protector, and he only wanted the best for her. So you sit in the front row while I work, and you stay with me as we grow this family. And also being so magnanimous as to make money for the family, let alone himself. Guys, it's very, very difficult to see Judge Mathis being a bad dude in this relationship, let alone marriage, for her to end things on irreconcilable differences. And when you say irreconcilable differences, quite simply, that is a divorce without a reason. She just wants out. She just wants something new. She just wants something different. She just was, she was engaging in FOMO. So, let's continue.
Judges and anybody, when they go Hollywood, these women, they have a following on social media. I don't know how many social media following she has, or if she has a presence on social media. Maybe y'all know more than me, but they start acting different and really believing that they can go out there and get another Judge Mathis. That's the mentality of women these days. That's their mentality. 39 years of marriage, and you're ready to walk away now? Why now? That's one of the things that I'm looking at, and I'm saying to myself, marriage is meaningless. It's meaningless. No matter what you accomplish, no matter what.
What's that? Even got himself a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She walks away. He wasn't, not only is he a high-value man, he is immortalized. He's an immortalized high-value man. But she thought that wasn't enough. So therefore, she wanted out. How fantastic is that? Oh, well. As the ladies would say, we don't know what happened behind closed doors, and we don't... Listen. When you have a man as rare as Judge Mathis, there's a lot of stuff you can look away from. A whole lot. A whole lot. And believe me, he was not leaving her for love nor money. It would take her to leave. And she did it. She did it. She literally did it. Thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. Well, she's going to come to a very, very rude awakening, because now Judge Mathis is back on the market. A 61-year-old multi-millionaire, let me say that, is back on the market. So guess who's going to be getting some real play? I'll let you decide that.
You do. These women are always looking for a way out. They're always looking for a way out. With your money, of course. You know, they're not about to walk away without having some money. Your money, you know. And
it's right. They're not walking away without your money. You see, that's the that is one of the biggest problems with divorce court. That's the biggest problem in terms of family court, is because there's a no-fault divorce policy in most Western states. And it forces, it allows women to leave on a whim. And she left on a whim. She said, "You're not my person anymore. We're not emotionally attached. We don't sync the way we used to. The kids are away. So empty nest syndrome. I don't feel close to as I used to. So I'm going to leave and take half." Now, if you ladies can explain the fairness in that, I'd love to hear it. Please comment below. Please comment in YouTube. Please comment in IG. Please explain to me the fairness of a woman deciding, you know what? Now I cannot deal anymore. You have provided me with a life that only 1% of the world can obtain, and I need out. Make it make sense. I'm willing to hear what the ladies have to say in terms of that comment. I'm waiting to hear it. Comment below. Comment in YouTube. Comment in Instagram. I want to hear from you ladies. I really, really do. Because it boggles the mind how a man like this, a man who's highly successful, and I mean the top 1% of men, 1%. 1%. I would say 1 of 1%, because he's a multimillionaire. 1 of 1% can have a woman leave him for literally because she doesn't have feeling for him anymore, and take half doing it. Now, if you consider that fair, I want to hear from you. I really want to hear from you. I really want to hear from you. Let's continue. But let me see if there's any comments here on Yep. I want to hear from you on Instagram. I want to hear from you on YouTube. Please call in. Please let me hear from you with regards to this, because I don't see the fairness in it. Judge Mathis did not want out of this divorce at all. But his wife, on a whim, said, "You know what? I'm done. I'm good." But she's incentivized by the fact that he is worth multi-millions. And they did not have a prenup. So guess what? She walks away with a whole lot. Unlike even Dr. Dre. But Dr. Dre had the presence of mind to realize that, listen, I'm the breadwinner here. She better be signing my prenup. And she tried, and believe me, Dr. Dre's ex-wife tried every which way to dismiss of that prenuptial agreement. And you know what? That prenuptial agreement was ironclad, and we went through that on Talk Live on a previous occasion. She didn't have a gun to her head. She was able to take it to a lawyer. He was able to verify it. She signed not under duress, so it couldn't be thrown out. It was ironclad. So guess what? He missed paying Dr. Dre's ex-wife was being paid over $400 million. That's what she wanted. She wanted half of his fortune. Plus other, sundry costs as well. But Dr. Dre saw it. But Judge Mathis, the love bug, I heard people calling him a simp, but he's not a simp, ladies and gentlemen. He was a man in love. He wanted this woman for the long haul, and he was willing to work hell for leather to do it. And you know what? he paid a price. He paid a very heavy price for it. Let's continue with this, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. A high value man, a 1% man can be taken by a lady. Hello, Narissa. Hello, Lana. Hello, Richard. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk live. I want to hear from you from below. Let's go. Down below. Let's go.
Again, this is her decision. I'm not about to sit here and tell this woman to stay if she don't want to stay. But 39 years of marriage. What is the point of marriage if you're already looking to leave? You're out the door. What is the point of it? Why should men why should men decide to marry when that woman already has 1 foot out the door?
And believe me, she was reading the Instagrams, she was reading the TikToks, she was reading everything else and what everybody else was considered better in terms of relationship, in terms of lifestyle and all these different things, and she wanted her own. She didn't want her own. She wanted her own. She wouldn't have divorced him if she couldn't get her own. Or, how should I say this? She wanted her own with his money. She wanted her own with his money. But that's how it's always been. As will be referred to later on, this was her pension plan. This was her retirement plan. This was it. But there'll be nights, and believe me, she's going to try and find a man of her own, and with the money found from him, and she's going to realize that men go on a different compass. Men have a different criteria set for themselves in terms of love, marriage, relationships. And one thing that is valued by men from women is their youth and their youthful properties. That's why women will do whatever it takes in order to look as youthful as possible so that they can catch the male gaze. However, once they realize that she's 61 and she's not young nor fertile anymore, she still has some good looks. She's a good-looking lady. Let's face facts. But hello, King Ellen. How are you? But there's a price to be paid once you are an older woman. The one that a man never has to, especially a man of Judge Mathis's wealth, stature, status, celebrity. And believe me, she'll still be named Mathis. Believe me, she'll carry that name. That's one thing that women will never do. Leave the name that made them famous. She'll never do that. Never. But she's going to try and rekindle something. She wants somebody who she can basically lead. Who will follow her around like a puppy dog, so doing the things she wants to do. But you know what? She'll soon get tired of that. She'll soon get tired of a man being the puppy dog, and she'll want a man just like Greg, but with who will have more time for her. But the thing about a guy like Judge Mathis is he's a high value man. He's a 1% man for a reason, because he works his ass off. I was a son to a high-value man. I was a son to a man who worked his ass off. I know what that takes. 12 to 15-hour days, making sure that people are fed, the lights are on, and you live a certain lifestyle. Women don't get that. For some reason, I don't understand, but they usually don't. I mean, there are some who do, but most don't. They think that you can make all this money and work a 9 to 4. I'll tell you that from experience. No. 80 to 90% of these men who are of high value, I'll tell you, like a Judge Greg Mathis, they usually have to work 12 to 15-hour days. So if you want a man who's successful, realize that that's what it takes. Realize that's not what it takes. And if you're not willing to work with that man, just say so. Instead of trying to change him over 30-odd years, and when he isn't changing, you punish him. Because that's the ultimate height of disrespect. Let's go.
That's what's going on a lot out here. 1 foot out the door. Now, again, we don't know the things that are going on behind the scenes. There could be a lot going on that we just don't know about. But I find it interesting how a lot of women out here who get to, this age and they're looking to leave. They feel like, they can do better, or they ready to be with another man. Because, she been with him since the 80s. So, she wants something different. And that's exactly what's going on here. Don't let nothing else fool y'all. She's looking for something different.
That's right. New dick. Let's talk about it, people. Let's talk about it. Let's be frank about this. Part of the reason why she's leaving is because of the fear of missing out. She wants new D. New dazzling D. Does she think at 61 years old that new D, and I mean young D, is coming? For the long haul? For the long term? Does she think that's going to happen? See, here's the difference. A man can get new P, no problem. Especially a man like Judge Greg Mathis, absolutely. But there are a certain set of standards that men adhere to. Again, youth, beauty, fertility. And if you're not young, chances are you're not getting that new D for long. No matter how much money you make. Because we don't care about your money. Don't care about you. Don't care about your money. We care about the opportunity it creates. But if you think that we're staying long term because you have money, and especially money from another man, you're dead wrong. You're dead wrong. And that's what that's what Linda Mathis thinks, that she can take that old money that Greg was providing her and her family, and she's going to try and siphon it off into somebody new. But here's the deal. It won't last. It won't last. Ask any Hollywood star of older age who have made money if any of them who chose a younger man stay with them for a longer term. Anyone whose new D they received were able to reap the benefits of the new D for a longer term. No. They won't. So you know what happens? They either stay alone, they either die a dog or die alone, or they, be happy with short-term relationships, because that's where it leads. That's where it leads, my people. That's where it leads. Let me see if there's any comments out here. We are good to go. So this is where we stand at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Linda Mathis really believes that her money, the money that was earned from Judge Greg in a divorce settlement, yes, it is Linda, is going to bring her a new perspective, a new D that will follow her around the world and give her what she wants. No. Because as women earn money, doors close. As men earn money, doors open. Doors open. And there'll be many doors for Judge Greg. She made the biggest mistake in her life. I can guarantee you that. Because if she doesn't turn things around within the next year, he's gone. He go bye-bye. He's out of here. Because the amount of choice that this man will now have, and I mean better choice, believe me, he'll be stunned. Younger, better, more nubile, less willing to get on his program. All these things, all the fear of missing out, all the Instagram that she has right now, gassing her head up, is going to lead her to a life of misery. I'll tell you that straight out. And Judge Greg is going to come out here smelling like a rose. You know why? Because Judge Greg can always replicate that money. She can't. So, if she gets a dog, cat, die alone, hey, that's fine. No worries. But guess what? He'll move on. He'll move on big. Sorry to say, Linda. Sorry to say.
We haven't heard of Greg Mathis having women on the side or nothing like that. So y'all can't use that. The point of marriage is to build something, and he built something with her. But if you're looking for a way out down the road, what is the point of marriage? Now, this ain't a marriage that ended after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. This marriage ended after 39 years. She ended it. Maybe she has somebody that she's looking to be with. That happens a lot in these divorces. When women go straight to divorce court, the date of separation is in July. You divorce in August. After 39 years, do you have people in your ear telling you that you can do better than him? Because that's what's going on out here.
I would say yes. She had her single friends telling her she could do better. I can guarantee you that. It wasn't a married woman who was telling her to do better. She was telling her to go to counseling. She was telling her to try and work it out. The single woman told her she could do better. The single woman on Instagram told her she could do better. That's who told her that she could do better. The single women on Instagram told her that she could do better. Women who have not had 39 years of marriage told her she could do better. That's who told her she could do better. Fear of missing out told her she can do better. The Instagram ladies on Instagram shaking their ass and taking wild trips and everything, and all these romantic vibes and occasions. That's who told her that she could do better. Because she was with this man since college. Remember, since she was in her late teens. She wanted new D. I can guarantee you that. She was not happy with old D. She wanted new D. But you know what new D does? Especially with women, gets old real quick. Gets old real quick. Because the men's, once they realize who your age is and what your fertility, where your fertility future lies, they don't want that. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just a little peckish, so I'm just having a few bits on the side. But as I'm sure Lady Mathis is doing. Anyways, this is where we stand. Because Judge Mathis was perfectly happy, and I mean perfectly happy, with how things were and how his marriage was. He didn't want to leave. He didn't want out of there no how. She was unhappy because she didn't get the tingles anymore. The kids were gone, so the obligation was gone. So she said, you know what? How can there's a way I can end this and yet get paid for it after 39 years of, well, of good times. I mean, I'm sure there were bad times, but of resolute love. And she took it. It's literally stunning. But again, I mean, if he was cheating and he was a habitual cheater, that's one thing. But you'll find out in time as we move on, that was never the case. Let's go.
I'm not saying Greg Mathis is perfect, but you don't see, even though I disagree with his politics, you don't see a lot of drama and issues with him. It's different if he was a messy guy that was getting caught out here with other women. You don't see that. I just think that he made the mistake trying to go Hollywood. Because when you put your family in that spotlight, they're going to embrace it. And that's probably what she's doing. Would not be shocked if you start seeing her on podcasts. You already see LeBron James' wife on podcasts or on a podcast spilling all their business. I just think that marriage used to mean something. It means nothing these days. It really doesn't. Now, people are going to say, well, you're weird, you're an incel, you can't get a woman. Why do you hate women? Why do you hate marriage? Because after 39 years, she decided to go and get a divorce. While she's in her early 60s. I believe she is 61 years old. Now, maybe she thinks that at 61 years old, she still has time to go out there and date and live her best life. That's what's going to happen. She's going to be out there trying to prove that she can move on. And, I guess she felt like, this was the right time for her. Why stay married to somebody when you can go out there and live your single life? There's a lot of women that I've seen on social media, not a lot, but in comments that were saying like they didn't understand why she's doing what she's doing.
Neither do I. I don't understand. But you know what? That's why they say once a woman, twice a child. And with that, you have to literally say, you know what? There's no real difference between a 20-year-old these days and a 60-year-old. Because this 61-year-old is acting like a 20-year-old. She knows good and darn well she should have stayed in that marriage because getting out here in these streets, it's a dead end. But she wants to do it anyway with my man's money who he was not going to leave. As Jada Black already said, he was not a serial cheater. He did not want anybody else but her. All he wanted to do was put a smile on this girl's face. But, it's all about the feels, not the reals, right? He built a family with her. He built a fortune with her. All he wanted to do was sit on that fortune and just sit back and luxuriate at the success that they have created. But she couldn't do that. She couldn't sit still. That's why I say there's an Instagram influence. But she was seeing everything happening out there. She said, I want that. I want that. Dr. Dre's wife wanted that. Gisele Bündchen wanted that. Most women want that. However, in this case, she was married to a 1% man, a high-value man. And this is going to backfire on her huge. I have a few comments in here from Lana BK. She says, I agree. If he was like Wendy Williams' ex, I think things would be different. Absolutely. Wendy Williams' ex was a serial cheater. Oh, yeah. And she knew it. Not only that, but she siphoned money off of her. He was not the high-value one. It was her. So much, and siphoned off of her so much that he bought his girlfriend, his lover, a house on their money. And that's part of you don't do that in the cheating rules. There's no babies, no sexual diseases, no embarrassment, and no pregnancies. Those are the cheating rules. He didn't follow those. That guy was a serial cheater. That guy, well, deserves what was coming to him because he know good and darn well that he was doing wrong. Judge Mathis didn't do any wrong here. His only wrong, as you will see, was caring too much about him and his family. When I became, it says, another article cited that the reality show was the beginning of the end. Yes. Good point made by Lana BK. She wanted the Hollywood lifestyle. And she thought, oh, I'm 61. I'm 61. I'm hot. I'll leave that right there. I'm 61. I'm hot. I'm ready for new beginnings. Why don't I? Divorced my husband for 39 years. Stop. Take half of the fortune that we amassed together. Create heartbreak and acrimony to a love that we have promised to be together forever. Nah, I don't need that. I want what they've got. It's FOMO for me. I want what they got. Lana BK says U.S. law is different from Canadian law. It matters who files first and who can influence the outcome. Yeah. Well, she filed first, didn't she? Because she wants to influence the outcome. There's your answer. She wants to be considered the good person, the good wife. I was there for him all these years. Where in Judge Mathis' background do you see him being a serial cheater? A serial dater. A serial whatever. You don't. But she thinks she's going to pay slick and fast and quick and think that, okay, if I file for divorce first, before Greg Mathis, I'm on the offense. He's on the defense. But I'm sure that's what her Instagram following would have said. Let's just finish this off quick.
Feel like this is just the wrong way of going about things, and that she was better off staying married because they ain't a lot out here. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share.
Thank you very much to Jada Black. We're going to move on to a different perspective here. This time from a man we haven't heard from in a while. Oh, let's move this down here. And that is Celebrity Junk with O'Shea Juke Jackson. Back at it again. And he's going to tell us the real reason why Judge Mathis got dumped. Subscribe to the Celebrity Junk. Subscribe to O'Shea Juke Jackson. Doing wonderful things in his YouTube streets. He is killing the game. And again, there are certain things that we don't see eye to eye on, but in this case we do. And for the most part we do, quite simply. Because again, he puts out great content. So like and subscribe to Judge Celebrity Junk. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Let's get into this. The real reason why Judge Greg Mathis got dumped. So let's move this a little further here. Alrighty then. Let's, there we go. Let's go.
Not a problem, or we're average in most things. The issue is that if you're average looking guy, average height, and you want a spectacular looking woman, here's something the world hasn't told you. To get the average looking woman, it's hard to get her as the average man. You need to be, a lot of times, exceptional just to be considered for a woman that's above average attractiveness. This is why we have so much with entitled women in the world, okay? And so really what you have to do is, men, you have to overachieve. You need to be
Let that sink in. We're going to get into the second hour. Please join us for the second hour here on Talk Live on Instagram. We're going to continue with things on YouTube. Come on back. Come on back. There's more to be discussed here, and the reason why Judge Greg Mathis really got dumped from Osage Jude Jackson. Come on back. See you in a bit. Thank you very much for joining me in Talk Live, ladies and gentlemen. We're into the second hour here, and we're renewing things on YouTube. On Instagram. Oh, okay, we're going to have a late night session tonight. All right, so thank you very much for joining me in Talk Live on IG and YouTube. We are back. We are live into the second hour here. Oh, wow. The man Tail Star just hit another double here. Scored another run. Should have never left Toronto, Teoscar. Should have never left Toronto. But that's the tear down Tucson's fault. Anyways, let's get into this. The real reason why Judge Mathis got dumped and was divorced is simply because, and he puts in a great point in that average women are looking for above average men, and I mean way above average men. The amount of entitlement that's out there is stifling. And even if they started out modestly, and Judge Mathis made himself into one of the top men in the world through his profession, through his entertainment company and syndicated success, he couldn't satisfy an average girl. And believe me, but listen. Linda Mathis is a good-looking girl, okay? I call her 6.5, really. But again, the fact that at her peak, she was about 6.5. But the fact of the matter is, when she is now 61 and her youth and fertility are gone, guess what? She's down to a 4.5 to a 5. I don't know what she's doing out here. But she's going to find out that choices have consequences. And her choice to leave her man will leave her speechless as to what's to come. Now, if she wants to sit alone and with her dog and cat and read her books and live off the vestiges of her husband, so be it. But if she thinks that she's going to come out in these streets and think that she's going to run the world, she is dead wrong. I'll tell you that. Dead wrong. Hello, DJ Hollywood. Hello, Lana BK. Dead wrong. Let's continue with this.
A guy that's serious about getting some money. He the guy that has some pull in the industry. And unfortunately, man, like the Isley brothers say, baby, I got work to do. It's a lot of work. And here's something that every guy who's successful knows. It becomes a part of your lifestyle. It becomes a part of what you do every day. Once you become successful, once you are a hard worker and, the things in life that you like, that the reason why people want to deal with you is why they also hate you. Okay? A lot of people want to be around hardworking men who can make things happen, and then despise them, especially when they get in a relationship, because those men don't have time. And this is, or it seems to be the case, with Judge Mathis. Rumor.
That's right. Judge Mathis had to work like a slave to live like a king. Judge Mathis, believe me, had to work countless hours, countless years, making so many sacrifices to get into the lifestyle to which she was accustomed and she wants full time on his dime. This sense of notoriety, this sense of fame, success, wealth, came at a price, but she never paid it. He did. She never paid it. He did. But yet he's still paying the price for her to live her best life. Because she thinks the best life is out there. When really, everybody wants what they had. Everybody wants what they had. Ladies, let me tell you something. I'll tell you something right now. If you think that being single is best for you in the long run, you're dead wrong. I'll tell you that straight out. You're dead wrong. You're dead wrong. If you think that living off your ex's settlement, divorce settlement, is going to give you peace of mind on your own, especially at 61, you're dead wrong. Now remember, she has kids, she has grandkids, so there's always family around there, believe me. But if she thinks that a long-term relationship is coming her way, she's dead wrong. No man is going to love her for her like Judge Greg Mathis. I can assure you of that. You might as well buy a dog and die alone, because that's the only type of love that is unconditional as the one Greg Mathis had for her. He was willing to sacrifice and die so that she could live well. I can guarantee you that. But because he was the one, there are very few D's she's had, she needs to go out and find something new. And that is going to solve all of her problems. Nope. I'll be as happy as my single women. They aren't happy themselves. There, I said it. Single women aren't happy themselves. Nope. They're not. And this needs to be understood. Single women think that, I mean, they lived an entitled life, let's face facts. They live a life way easier than men, of course. But single women believe that they deserve everything that's coming to them, and that you can manifest it, and life is for as long as you follow a certain zodiac, a certain philosophy, a certain horoscope, that you'll live the great life and be single and on your own in doing it. No. By 2030, you'll all know the reason why. Living alone, living without family sucks. It does. It literally sucks. And she's going to find out that it does suck. Let's continue with this.
Is on the streets that there's a real reason why his wife divorced him. Okay? Linda Mathis. It seems amicable. She still has their photos on her Instagram page. Seems like she still loves him. But why is she divorcing him? It's not because of cheating. It's not because of these things. It's because that Judge Mathis is a workaholic. Okay? Judge Mathis, 64, he runs charities. He has a production company. The man is working 70, 80 hours a week. Remember, he went to law school. He's a professional man. He's been doing this for years. And basically what she said is, listen, I worked all my life to be with you, and I want time for us to be together. This was the same thing with Tom Brady's ex-wife, Giselle Bundis, whatever her name was. She wanted Tom to stop playing football. Tom wanted to play football and be dedicated.
Lionel DK asks, is this episode sponsored by Doritos? Yes. Yes, it is sponsored by Doritos. I'm sorry. I didn't eat all day. I was fasting all day, like literally, and just got off the road. But I had to put on the show. So I decided to sacrifice my hunger for you. But let me say this. This episode is indeed sponsored by Doritos. I can't show the label, but it is sponsored by Doritos. The first food sponsor of Dog Talk Live. Let me tell you something. Doritos is the greatest chips known to man. Let me talk about Doritos for a second. Doritos are the greatest chips ever devised. Ever devised. On planet Earth, you cannot get better chips than Doritos. You understand me? Original Doritos. I can go through a bag this big. Sorry, this big on my own. In one sitting. I can do all this on one. I can do all this in one sitting. And not even get tired. I may just go get a second. That's how good those chips are. I may just go, yeah, I told DJ Hollywood, you ain't lying. That cheese in there, let me say something. When you are, if you don't want to do fast food, let me tell you something. Doritos is a great late night snack. Believe me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I tell you, that's a high value man snack right there. Let me tell you, that's a high value man snack. That thing, oh my God, it's like, let me tell you, if that was found intravenously, believe me, pump that into my bloodstream. Give me some of that. I'll take some. Takis is all right. Takis all right, but yeah, I don't know. It ain't. Come on. Well said, no, but it ain't Doritos. Let me tell you something. DJ Hollywood knows. Doritos is like a drug. It's a legalized drug. Okay? It's legalized all over the world. Okay? It's like alcohol. Okay? And, yeah. Never the tweet shall meet. This stuff right here is gold dust. It is literal gold dust. As I said, I can go through that in one sitting. Let me get back to this. Yes, Judge Mathis was compared to Tom Brady, and I totally believe it. Both of them were workaholics. Both of them wanted to be the best that they can be in their professions, their chosen professions. They want to be number one. And guess what? They made it to a certain level. It has what's it? I think it has steak in it. Oh Lord, yeah, it does have steak in it. It has steak, fries, baked potatoes, chives. I mean, they have different Doritos for that. Listen, don't get me started on Doritos. Doritos, let me tell you something. Doritos is the one and only chip. The one and only chip that crosses its lips that will never, ever be beaten. When I have, because I have to commute to and from Brantford. When I have a long commute and I'm hungry, Doritos is it. I'll finish that thing in 45 minutes flat. I'll empty that thing while I'm driving 100 odd miles an hour in the speed limit. I'll do it. I'll do it indeed. Anyways, back to it. Finally, back to it. Tom Brady, Judge Mathis, wanted to be the best, wanted to work hard. And both of their women, Gisele Bündchen and Linda Mathis, wanted to leave them. Because one wanted a personal trainer who was going to be there for her whenever she wanted her beck and call, and another one is aspiring to do it. But you know what? Let me tell you something. If Tom Brady's life is any indication of the future, Judge Greg Mathis is going to have a great old time. He's going to have a super time. Because you know why? He's going to be hit on by not only 60-year-olds, but 50-year-olds. Wait a second, make that 40-year-olds. Wait a second, make that 30-year-olds. Hey, you know what? Let's get into the upper 20s. Let's go to 29. Let's go to 28. Let's go there. Let's go there. He will know no man's peace anymore. And women will say, oh, well, he's not marrying you for you. Yeah, I know. It's the ultimate exchange. My money, my resources for your good looks and beauty. Yes. If he wants to start a new family, he can do that. Judge Mathis will be able to do that. No doubt about that. Just like Tom Brady right here. He can start a new family. Absolutely. Absolutely. You want more quarterbacks? I can give you more quarterbacks. You want more judges? I can give you more judges. All because this lady saw Instagram and the fear of missing out and said, you know what? You don't give me the feels anymore. I want out. Irreconcilable differences. What a silly, silly, silly mistake. Everybody knowing good and damn well, the family of Forger was made from one man, not one woman. Let's continue.
The sport, that's his first love. His first love was not his wife. Judge
Again, this show is sponsored by Doritos.
Mathis promised his wife that he would slow down and they would travel the world together, enjoy the rest of their lives, but he's not trying to slow down. Linda is not willing to sacrifice anymore, okay? Now, the threat was, the ultimatum was, if Judge Mathis decides to slow down, take some time off to be with his wife, she will take him back. I want to talk to guys out here because me, I'm also a person I would consider myself a workaholic. I worked every day of this year. I worked 364 days of last year. Only had January the 1st, 2023 off. It has been very difficult to me to find a woman who would want to take a back seat to my work schedule and try to find a balance. Now, again, I had much more of a balance when I lived in Europe. If I lived in the States, obviously living here on the continent of Africa, in the city that I'm in, it's just really hard to do things in the day. Time flies by. You have so many problems, power going out. So you really have to put in a lot of effort to make a lot of things happen. But overall, I want men to understand that if you do want a wife, if you do want her to stay there, if you do want a relationship, here's the skinny, man. They don't want you when you don't have anything, and they don't understand as a man that you gotta work to have everything. They want you to pay for everything. They want you to fund everything. That's true indeed. But what you don't also understand is they want your time, and they want you to be able to have a balance to give to them at the same time while they want you to balance things out and spend with them. They really want you to also be able to pay for that vacation with all the money you have that's going to probably put you more in debt so that you can be with them. Okay?
Stop that right there. You know what? O'Shea's onto something there. He's onto something there. You see, the ladies, the modern women of today, they want you to do the impossible. The literal impossible. That is this. They want you to earn millions of dollars, yet have time for them to take vacations, to go on romantic trips, to do all these other things. So they want you to be a high-value man with time. Let me tell you something. Ladies, listen to me and listen to me good. If you're a high-value man, and listen, I've lived with high-value men all my life. I am a high-value man myself. There must be time invested into whatever pursuit you want in order to live a high-value lifestyle. Kevin said it himself. Your woman will be second or third in terms of tierdom in a man's life. The first thing is his career. The second thing is kids. The third thing is his wife. Let me say that again. First thing is his career, because his career brings his wife. Let that sink in. Linda Mathis would not be with Greg Mathis if he was a bum. If he did not earn a certain amount of money. I had to explain this a couple weeks back. She would not be with this man for 39 years if he wasn't a workaholic. And yet she wants him to turn down the thing that got them to the place where they are now, so that she could lead the relationship into oblivion and do what the hell she wants to do. And you know what? The world doesn't work that way. And believe me, I know. My dad would work 12 to 15, 18-hour days. I would work the 12 certain times, 12, 15, 18-hour days. Because I knew that without doing that, we wouldn't have the lifestyle to which we were accustomed. There's no doubt about it. None. But a lot of ladies want their men to, take off work and do what the hell they want to do, then jump back into work, and no, it doesn't work that way. But clearly, Linda Mathis, in her infinite wisdom, at her old-ass age, thinks that she can reinvent the wheel. She can't. She can't.
This is what I don't understand about women. Women say they understand that men have to work. They understand that men are busy. And maybe he has enough money. I'm not sure. But the one thing is that women want it all. They want you to make all the money, right? You to spend all the time you can. And if you either stop making the money, they're gone. If you make too much money, you don't have no time, they're gone. And either way it goes, depending on you as a man trying to figure out everything, you got to figure out how to take care of them, how to take care of your kids, how to do all of this, how to do all of that. Keep it going. If you can't keep it going and figure that out, she's gone. Okay? Now, what I want to ask you is, and again, I understand she's been there for a long time. She's been there before you even had anything. I can understand her position a little bit better. She's with the man, before he was 25. It makes more sense, right? But for most guys who meet somebody when you're already rich and you already have money, I just want to know what the incentive is. Why would you do that and why? And I just want guys to understand that just because you have money, just because you are doing well, hey man, you have to figure women out. You have to spend time with women. It's not all about money. It's not all about wealth. Relationships, especially with women, are very difficult for most men to understand, and they take a lot of work. And if you're not willing to take on that load, that means dealing with a whole other person. It's already hard being in the industry, but putting up with a whole other person, understanding what they like, and and really catering to them, and really investing into them. Even when you may feel like you're not getting anything out of the deal, don't get into a relationship. Your money is not going to keep you. Because I'm going to tell you what I found out. Once she leaves you, you're going to find out who she really liked. And everything that you was doing for her, damn, you didn't really need that. You were a high achiever. You didn't need to take her on those nice trips. You didn't need to spend all that money. Maybe all she liked was you. Don't know. It's typically like that, man. A lot of us as men, we put too much effort on how much money we need to make for a woman to like us, only to find out that once you get that money, it's still more that they desire from you. And it never ends. Not that a woman shouldn't demand time for her man. She should, right? But you know what? If your first love is working in the industry and things, and you want to, kind of put your wife to the side, hey, bro, your families take work, man. Relationships take work. It takes effort. It takes planning. It takes a lot. And I just don't think a lot of men are just really understanding about that, about what it is. And it's taking me aback. Like, if I were to really get married right now, first of all, I would make less money. Okay? Seriously, if I really wanted to get married and make a marriage work, I would make less money. Okay? Because I would have to spend a lot more time with a wife and then trying to care for a kid. Which would...
Well, that's the paradox that he explained right there. That's the paradox. Women want a 1% man. Women want a high-value man who doesn't have to work so much. But if you don't work so much and you spend more time with them, then they resent you for not earning more. You see what I'm saying? So where is the point of satisfaction here? And I'll tell you this. The point of satisfaction is when a woman loves you more than you love her. Because Judge Mathis He loved his wife more than he loved her. He tried to woo her. He tried to court her. He tried to serenade her. And she said herself, she said, oh, I gave him a chance. And as the old saying goes, as will be heard later, once you treat a woman like a star, she's going to treat you like a fan. Let me say that again. Once you treat a woman like a star, she's going to treat you like a fan. Does that make sense? Comment down below and tell me I'm wrong. Once you treat a woman like a star, she's going to treat you like a fan. And quite simply, as soon as she got that reality show, she treated Judge Mathis like a fan. She treated Judge Mathis like a fan. And that was the end of that marriage. Because she thought that she could do better. And you know what incentivized her for that? Is that she could take half. So she was doing better. The only problem is, she didn't know how to make that money. He did. So guess what he'll do? He'll go out and make more. And he'll make sure, if Judge Mathis is smart, and if he lives within the parameters of the year, okay, you give her time to see what's out there, and if she comes back in a year, so be it. But if it's over a year, Judge Mathis, in your infinite wisdom, may I beg for your attention, please. You go out, get you something younger and tighter, get you someone who loves you for you, although it'd be hard because you are who you are. But you get someone who wants to stay on your page. Who allows you to be you and not be ashamed of it. If you're a workaholic, she allows you to be a workaholic. When she comes home, kids are, well, things are put away, things are done. Your meal is made, all these great things, and you can live your life on your terms. But indeed, you give her a chance of reconciliation because you were there for 39 years. But believe me, she'll understand that that was a mistake. And I'm going through that right now. She realized that was a mistake. And she'll try to claw back, and after 39 years, you give her that chance to come back. But believe me, she deals with new terms now. You're running things, not her. You say jump, she says how high. And if she doesn't agree to that, there's the door. Because quite simply, this is shameless what she did. Knowing good and damn well that this man, Judge Greg Mathis, worked his ass off to provide a lifestyle to which her family are forever and eternally grateful. And she decides, nah, I can get better somewhere else. Karma is a way of leveling things out and kicking your ass when you least expect it. Giselle Bundchen knew that. Dr. Dre's wife knew that. And soon, Judge Greg Mathis' wife, Linda Mathis, will learn that too.
Ultimately, raise my expenses. All right? That means I got to buy, how I'm living right now. I'd have to upgrade that, or you, to something nice, more livable.
Yep.
You'd have to probably buy a nicer car, a bigger car. You'd have to be taking care of lady. All of these things which would increase your bills, plus add on the fact that you got to spend some time with her. Is that what you want to do? Some men, it's okay. But don't get into these serious relationships, man, unless you really understand what is out there. It is not easy. And to them, it might always be your fault. So, guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shitty Jackson. Bank at it.
Thank you, OJ2 Jackson. Well said indeed. Gotta watch out for these ladies. For as hard as you work, and successful as you are, it still won't be enough in certain circumstances. And all they'll do is file irreconcilable differences and see if they can take half. Final video from MTR, Mediocre Tutorial Reviews, one of the more dangerous shows on YouTube with regards to male empowerment. Or shall I say, male supremacy channel. Anyway, he's got a new video here. Judge Mathis reacts to it after his wife divorced him. Great video. Subscribe to Mediocre Tutorial Reviews, doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. Let's get going.
15 years before being elected, I was a street kid, 17 years old, in jail, being tried as an adult. Judge gave me a second chance after 9 months behind bars. Came out 15 years later after having gone to undergrad, gone to law school. They held my law license up even though it was expunged. After I got my law license at the state Supreme Court because they had denied me, I then began working for the city council, then the mayor, then Reverend Jackson, and then elected judge, and now 23 years later on television.
Man, 23 years, 3 seasons, 24 seasons?
Yep.
That is
amazing. I'll finish that for you, J Hud. Amazing. All that sacrifice, all that work, for him to get to a certain place in life, for a woman to come by and on a whim take half. Now again, she's been there for the long haul. I give her that. She's given the man kids. I get it. But he didn't want to leave the relationship. He didn't want to go. He wanted to honor her and her duties to him and his duties to her. He didn't want to leave. He wasn't the cheating type. He wanted to stay. But she wanted out on her own whims and graces and decided, nah, I'll let irreconcilable differences ass and move on, move forward. When he wanted nothing of it. Nothing of it. These are the people you feel sorry for. These are the ones who you literally say there is a reason for not prenuptial agreements, but nuptial agreements whereby a man doesn't lose any of his fortune if indeed he was faithful. If indeed he wanted the marriage to continue. You don't discontinue that. You don't give a woman half just because she said, nah, I want out. That is inexcusable. But such is the Western/American justice system. Rewards bad behavior. Rewards what's considered bad choices. When actually that was the only choice that she needed. Because believe me, Judge Mathis was never going to leave that girl alone. Nope. Not a chance.
amazing.
But you know, I like to make note of the fact that I had to go to the Supreme Court to get my law license, and I didn't give up.
Now, this story has taken mainstream media as well as internet media by storm, and rightfully so, because when you think about Judge Mathis and the legacy that he has created, a huge component of his legacy outside of his TV career has always been his wife and his family, which was actually documented on TV via Mathis Family Matters. This was actually back in 2022.
There's breaking news about another Hollywood divorce.
Come in over here, my beautiful wife.
After 39 years, Judge Greg Mathis and wife Linda are calling it quits.
You have to understand that marriage and love is give and take.
ET obtained Linda's court filing. She cites irreconcilable differences, lists their separation date as July 17th, and is asking for spousal support.
Of course she's going to ask for spousal support. This is her pension. Nobody is safe. If Judge Mathis can't make it, then nobody is safe. And
no, nobody is safe. He's right. Well said, mediocre. Nobody is safe. The man was faithful. The man was honorable. The man did his duty. But she wants better D. She wants more experiences. She wants... a life on her terms. Even though he created a life that gave her the choice to live on her own terms. Yeah, that 1% guy there, Judge Greg Mathis.
of course she's going to ask for spousal support. I mean, this is her pension, very large pension. Let's see how much.
You get a kiss on top of that.
The couple is worth an estimated $25 million. Most of it.
You get that? She wants $12.5 million. That's what she wants of his fortune. Make that make sense.
From his TV court show, which ran for 24 seasons and won an Emmy in 2018.
24.99999 million of that stuff is as of him.
Yep.
Let's make that abundantly clear. And you would think after 40 years of marriage, you'd figure it out, right? Go get to your opposite end of the house and be roommates for a little while as you as you talk about your differences. But, and men, listen to me when I say this, the more well off that you are, the more incentivized that they are to leave you. Once they put in the necessary time for you to be obligated to do so. And being in the state of California, plus being married for 40 years with this income difference with no prenup means she's gonna get half his shit. But of course, 2 years after the reality show was canceled, now she's all of a sudden singing a different tune.
We're giving Judge Judy a run for...
Yep. Now she's singing a different tune. He's not working anymore. Well, he retired. He could work, but he retired. He had his his reality TV show, but he retired. So, she didn't like that. She didn't like him being around the house so long. She wanted him to be with her. Now, this is alleged, of course. You want more time with your man. So your man spends more time with you. But with that time spent with you, you become not as well liked as a man by that woman, and you went out. Make that make sense.
For money, aren't you? This is where it starts.
Oh, no, Judge Judy can't touch her. She's the queen.
It's unclear if the couple had a prenup, but keep in mind, they tied the knot in 1985, 14 years before Greg hit it big.
We met on the college campus. You know, she had the Betty Davis eye.
As for what went wrong,
We kind of got into a little rut sitting at home.
the couple who have four.
That's code language for, you ain't working no more. So I want out. Well, I thought you wanted me to spend more time. Yeah, well, I want you to spend more time with me while you're working by yourself and doing all this other stuff. Women, tell you.
Or adult children talked about the issues of an empty nest on their 2022 docu-series.
Do you feel the romance died down any?
I'll say this, after you get the kids out the house, it goes way up. You kind of level off for a little while. You might hit a dip here and there, like anything else. Marriage is not easy.
As a man, you could do everything right. She can come from a nice family, be well-intentioned according to your perception, be family-minded, even hold you down while you make the entire family rich, and still take half of your shit in the end. What's interesting about this one, though, is that she was with him way before he got all the money, so there was a bit of wanting to be with him for potential that was there. But if I was to take a guess, they started off well-intentioned. He had a blossoming career. She stayed at home and raised the 4 children. The kids leave the home. They end up doing a reality show. And then Judge Mathis retired, taking what he would normally probably work 70, 80 hours a week. And now you're spending it at home alone with her. And she realized that she didn't want to spend the rest of her life with him. It is a shocking conclusion that something like this can happen after you seemingly do everything right.
There it is. After you do everything right, you're still in the wrong. Let me repeat that. After you do everything right, you're still in the wrong. Because as my mother said, no good deed goes unpunished. No good deeds goes unpunished. And so we are here to understand that you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you work 80, 90 hours a week to a place where you live like kings and queens in modern day, you can still have it taken all away from you simply because she wanted something or someone else, and it hurts. It hurts. Especially a man who did everything right. Again, this is verifiable by both parties, but such are the results of modern day marriage.
Linda actually wrote this on her Instagram underneath a picture of both of them when they got together. Met this man in the fall season of 1981, my first month of college at Eastern Michigan University. After he followed me around campus with comments about my dress, my jewelry, he loved the gold Nefertiti necklace of my mom's that wore, telling me what he could do for me, LOL, etc., etc. Judge Mathis sounds like a shit. Maybe this... maybe this is what this all comes the goddamn hell down to. You treat them like a star, they will treat you like a fan, even if you really...
What did I say? You said it. You treat him like a star, you treat him like a... He'll treat you like a fan. Love the one who loves you, not the one you love. Especially, that's ever so true for a man. Love the one who loves you, not the one you love. The relationship is liable to last much longer in that case. And in this instance, maybe it was a fatal flaw, but he was trying to woo her, trying to court her, trying to do all the romantic things, the romantic blue pill things that we did back in the day. That we did in the early 80s, because love was pure at that time. Love was not congested by social media at the time. And unfortunately, he's left to pay the price. Left to pay the price, unfortunately, Judge Mathis.
You are the star because you're the one that's on TV. He would also sing a popular song while walking behind me or seeing me in the cafeteria. Yo, shit like this used to work back in the day. She has Betty Davis eyes by Kim Carnes. Well, he wore me down. This used to be the good old days where you could wear a chick down. But now, this whole would be hashtag me too, baby.
Yep.
I invited him in. He took the draws. I'm just kidding. She didn't write that. And he has been in ever since. This is
what he says is true right there. All this behavior would be considered creepy today. Unless it's coming from a certain person at a certain time, a certain thing, doing certain. But most of this stuff would be considered creepy today. But such was the innocence of that time frame of the early 80s. When love was truly love. And romantic gestures were truly romantic gestures and wasn't considered the ick in any way. That's how jaded things have become.
This is back in the old school, baby, where love used to be good. But the ever-increasing mind virus of feminist propaganda allows women to believe that after 40 years of marriage, they can leave and go find another, irrespective of the wall that hit 20 years ago. Looking at posts like this and seeing how smitten that he was, how early in his life that he wanted to get married without a true understanding of what he was going to amass or accumulate within his life is why I do content like this. There's so many young men that are petrified, scared, or have no knowledge of doing things such as getting a prenup, or are so convinced that they want to get married in lieu of understanding the potential repercussions of becoming divorced. And they go into these contracts and sign the name on the dotted line that inevitably does not benefit them. Go ahead, girl. He not treating you right no more. This is not what you signed up for. You can go get you another man. You done did it before. And all that other feminist programming bullshit. And that is the antithesis of marriage till death do you part.
Well, we're not going to fight. If that's the condition of coming back, we're not coming back. Because we are a whole family, a wholesome family. We all have our flaws, but we don't fight. Never have.
Listen to that. Does that sound like a cheer? Does that sound like a man who wanted to break his vows? Does that sound like it? I ask you ladies, does that sound like a man who wants out of his wedding vows? Every time he's on TV, he talks about his wife, he talks about his family, he talks about his children. But she was plotting a way out. Make that make sense. Make it make sense.
And so we're going to see if we have to fight. If we have to fight, the answer is no.
Well, you mentioned our family show, Mathis, Family Matters. And as you see on there, our influence is that, black families are great families. And no, they're not filled with, just inner fighting. And so, we show
stereotypical tropes and trauma that they try to portray. Exactly. We don't see that here.
Exactly. So that's what, we want to have a strong influence on our community and show that.
And I keep telling y'all to stop paying attention.
Shout out the Alphabet Gang.
Attention to the highlights of people's life or things that they do in front of a camera, because the truth in private might be much different. Truly sad story, especially if considering, there's generally monikers in every race and every culture. And for Black culture, Judge Joe Mathis is one of those shining examples. It used to be Will and Jada back into the day pre-entanglement, but that's now over. And it sucks to see that after 39 years of marriage, women can still check that little box of irreconcilable differences at the end of it. More than likely incentivized through the pension that they'll be able to extract from that man. Incentivized by the spousal support, or I like to refer to it as the ex-wife pension, that is owed to them. As an ode and a testament to Judge Joe Mathis, I want to show one of his most memorable clips from his show. I moved out.
All right, we're going to leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just close in. Let me close this. And thank you very much for joining me to Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I'm snacking away here, guys. I do apologize, but I usually have my dinner pre-show. That didn't happen today, and so I've got to get to the gym a little bit later on and see if we can work off these calories. Anyways, back to the full camp. And back to my original question. Did FOMO, did Instagram influence this breakup in marriage between Judge Mathis and Linda Mathis? I say yes. I say wholeheartedly yes. I think that the influence of modern social media, the influence of modern entertainment, really badly startled and stopped the beautiful thing. Because that's exactly what Judge Greg and Linda had. A beautiful thing. And Judge Greg did not want it to end at all. You could see that. He was totally invested in the marriage. He didn't want to leave his wife. He's one of the good ones. But one of the... Listen. Listen to me. It's always the good ones that have to suffer, that have to die. It's always the good ones that have to pay the price. And Judge Greg Mathis is one of the good ones. And he was in it for the long haul. He did not want to leave his wife, but his wife got fear of missing out. His wife got enraptured with Instagram and social media and reality TV and what's happening over there and the grass being greener and all of her single friends telling her, leave your man, do something different. But get this. Take this in. You know who'll come out smelling like a rose? It'll be Judge Mathis. It'll be Judge Mathis. You know why? Because his reputation as a great man will only increase from this. Because the truth will come out that, you know, she wanted new D. She wanted something different. She wanted the feels, not the reals. And he'll find women who want him rather than he wanting her. He'll find women who will chase after him. Now remember, he is in a top 1%, so therefore he has to be quite discerning as to who that woman would be. But to that woman that he chooses, believe me, he'll leave this woman in the dust. He'll leave as good as she was. He'll find someone that much better, that much younger, that much more fertile, that much more beautiful, if he wants it. Because quite simply, he deserves it. He deserves every last bit of it. Because he has sacrificed for his family, he sacrificed for his wife, he sacrificed for his children, he sacrificed enough in his life for him to get a just reward. And I pray that Judge Greg Mathis, who was my second favorite reality court TV show out there next to Judge Judy, finds it. You know why? Because he deserves it. Nothing wrong with this man. This man loved his wife so much and spoke of only his wife so highly that he deserves it. And one day, we'll look back, and he'll look back at this sequence of events and hopefully laugh again. Because he deserves it. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk live on IG and YouTube. I appreciate you sticking around with me here today. Tomorrow, we're going to have another show. We're going to make sure our mics are set up here. And believe me, new camera equipment is coming in the coming months, believe me. And I've secured a deal for that. And it should be coming as time goes on. So do stick around. And I appreciate you being here on Talk Live. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all those who participated in tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow night with a new show. Probably about, again, the Chinese dating marriage market and how much different it is to the West. And believe me, there's one gender who has the upper hand. But you got to tune in tomorrow to find out. Thank you very much for joining me at Talk Live. We'll see you tomorrow night. Look forward to speaking to you then. We're going to end things now on YouTube. Good night from Toronto. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk live on YouTube. Yeah. Just finished up on IG. Sorry for the feud issues, but I usually eat before an episode. It didn't happen tonight. And I'm paying the price. So, Again, thank you very much for joining me in Talk Live. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode, probably tomorrow. But tune in to my promos on IG, on TikTok. And thank you very much for your TikTok entries. My goodness, I got so much appeal from my last TikTok. Hopefully it'll be continuing, and look forward to your support. But I thank you very much for joining me in Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're still